All right, so I just wanted to do a little video on short game and just keeping it extremely basic. When I come to the edge of the green, let's say I park my cart over there and I'm not sure what kind of situation I'm in, I'm gonna bring over to the side of the green 4 clubs with me. I'm gonna bring over my putter. Obviously, I'm gonna eventually use it. I'm gonna bring over an 8-iron, a 50-degree wedge, and a 60-degree wedge. Okay, so basically what I've done here is I've gone 0 degrees of loft. I've gone 40 degrees of loft with an 8-iron, 50 and 60. So I've got a 10-degree increment in there. You could say, okay, bring your 20-degree club. So bring your 4-iron over as well. Bring your driver, your 10-degree club if you wanted to as well, and have 10-degree spacing essentially from 0 to 60. But what I found is that occasionally using a 5-iron or a 4-iron to hit a bump and run is maybe suitable, but most of the time the 8-iron is going to get that job done for you. So here's the putter, and basically anytime you can putt, I would recommend putting. You know, here we have bent grass fairways and bent grass greens, so even if I'm going over to that flag across the way, I can just putt. I just take my putter, putt it along the ground, hit it up over the hill, let it break down toward the hole. The stance that I'm taking there is very simple, right in the middle of my feet. I typically play my putter just a little bit off the front of my foot. My Sabre Golf putter designs have 0 degrees loft, so all I'm doing is taking my shoulders, rocking them back and forth, and putting it along the ground. I've got plenty of videos on my site around putting. The next most logical step for me would be to take that 8-iron, which like I said is around that 40-degree number, and I'm effectively going to try and putt with an 8-iron. So the way that looks from this direction is I'm going to take that ball, play it back off my right foot. I'm going to use the reverse overlap putting grip, set it all the way down, set my hands all the way down to where the grip meets the shaft, and I'm basically going to do the same. Rock my shoulders back and forth. So if I'm setting up here, aiming at that target, ball in the back of my stance, aiming pretty straight from my perspective, the 8-iron looks a little hooded or closed, and then I'm going to rock the shoulders just like I did a putt. And what you'll notice right away is it jumped in the air. So I've got about 2 or 3 paces between me and the putting green, and that's enough for that 8-iron to just jump over the top. The next club that I would choose to go with is a 50-degree wedge. So I go from 40 degrees now to 50 degrees, and it's exactly the same setup. Back of the stance, right off the right toe, take my setup, rock my shoulders. All I'm doing is letting the 50 degrees of loft jump it in the air for me. I'm not trying to scoop it, I'm not trying to lift it. All I'm doing is rocking my shoulders just like a putt. So back off the right toe, back of the stance, rock the shoulders, rock them the other way. Let the club do all the work. 50 degrees is enough to jump that ball a little bit higher in the air, and I'm gonna land it a little bit further onto the green. So the next club of choice there would be the 60 degree, okay? So if I take the 60-degree wedge, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Back off the right toe, grip all the way down, reverse overlap grip, rock the shoulders. What's really important here is you don't get too, you don't need to set up severely with a ton of weight on your left leg. You don't need to press your hands and lean them forward. You don't need to open your stance. Those are all variations I think complicate the setup. So all I'm going to do here, play the ball back off my right toe. When I do that, the handle goes over to my left leg. Once it's over in front of my left leg, I grip all the way down and just rock my shoulders. I'm going to rock them a little bit bigger because the 60 degree is going to make the ball go further. All right, so this time it flew 3/4 of the way to the hole, and then it decided to check up, roll a little bit to the left. So same thing, back of the stance, rock the shoulders. Right, it's flying, and hopefully you can see that on the video. It's flying a little bit further. So if I go backwards, Go back to the 50 degree, play it in the back of my stance, aim out to the right because I'm seeing that they're all breaking to the left, and rock my shoulders. Okay, played it a little bit further out. This one I don't need to fly as far, so I can rock my shoulders a little bit less. Right, it's going to take the break and turn toward the hole. Like I said in the beginning, if you can roll this ball up onto the green, you might as well. Sometimes just learning how to do these chipping shots just gives you just another little option. So this is the 8-iron, back of the stance, rock the shoulders, just kind of get it on the green and tumbling. And then, as they say, you know, if you miss-hit a putt, it's usually better than if you miss-hit a chip, right? So I'm going to set up to my putter, aim a little bit out to the right, rock my shoulders, try to figure out how hard to hit it. And that expression rings true pretty much anywhere you are. Doesn't matter if you're playing on bent grass, Bermuda, paspalum. We can look pretty silly on a chip shot if we accidentally kind of raise the club up and then hit down with a sharp angle of attack. We can stub it. That's a big problem. We'll just chunk it, chili dip it, skull it, all those things. Usually those things happen because we're not taking the simplest method of hitting a short game shot. So hopefully this demonstration and my discussion through these 4 clubs, putter, 8-iron, 50 degree, and 60 degree, are helpful to you, and they're going to help you shoot lower scores.